Dan, I'll start with you. I was looking at your Instagram and maybe your wife's Instagram both, and you guys just celebrated 5 years.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Thank you, dude.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great.
What's been you guys' secret of success?
I would say, I don't know, open communication. You know, like if there's something, if there's an issue, talk about it in real time. Don't let things fester up. I feel like you need to talk every day about things. You know, don't go to bed mad. If there's an issue, if there's something, just talk about it. You know, say I love you as much as possible. But you know, I feel like that's a big part of it, because if you just harbor things and let things build up instead of talking and being open about things, I feel like that's with any relationship. You know, with Shay and I, or with friends, or whatever it may be. It's like something's going on. Talk about it. Be open about it, rather than like, you know, letting things build up, and then it's just a disaster. So yeah, it's been awesome. We've got such a great relationship, Abby and I. Shay and I have a great relationship. It's all good, man.
Nail it,
Yeah.
dude.
How about it?
So 2 things. One, let's write that down. I think that's a song, and we'll just sing it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Communication.
Do we give him credit, though?
No.
You could call
They
it.
didn't mean to
I think
write
you
it.
could call it fester. Don't let things fester. You know what I mean? Make
That-
it a little
not to be
weird. You know?
confused.
But we could do don't let things fester, but it's also a sore. Like we go to different
Yes.
ways. And then it's Uncle Fester at the end.
Yeah.
You got 3 ways to do it.
And that's Nashville. You know,
Yeah.
the twist at the end. You play that at the Bluebird, and people give you the standing
Oh,
ovation.
And then
It's
all of a sudden,
crazy.
the actor from the Addams Family, Uncle Fester, comes out and is like, "Hey, everybody!" So
Think that guy's still around?
I don't
I don't
actually,
think
which would
he
be really
probably is.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be.
And Shay, with you and your wife, obviously having children is a whole new dynamic in a marriage. Like, how do you keep a relationship solid between the two when you have 2 other younger ones?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting dance, because it's at the beginning you're just kind of holding on, hoping that nothing goes too chaotic. But and it creates this kind of special bond where you have these 2 amazing lives that you're trying to just keep alive. And for a while, it was just kind of like, all right, we got to just kind of hold on. But like Dan said, I think open communication and making sure that, I think the biggest thing for us is setting aside, time for ourselves, because as much as you want to every living, waking second spend with your kids, you do need to have those moments where you go away as parents. So when you do come back, you're in a healthier place, because I think you can run yourself into the ground, trying to be a great parent, but then you're exhausted and you're not really spending any quality time with your kids. So Hannah and I try to do like a once a week date night, and not that we always get to do that.
We try to do that too.
But we try to do that. I think it's important to set aside a little bit of time, and that usually kind of helps alleviate a lot of the stress, throughout the week.
I think for any relationship, I bet, because on this show we have breaks where we have to get away from each other. We're together all the time. I assume with you guys, there are probably, after you tour and you're on the road or you're recording, you're like, hey, we're just going to take some time away to make sure we're healthy. You guys do that too?
Absolutely.
For sure. I feel like the Nashville touring system is such a healthy way to do it. It's like, you do 3 or 4 shows a weekend versus being gone for 6 months. When you go to Europe, when you go overseas, it's a little different. It's like we go out on a Thursday night, come back Sunday, spend a little time with the family. I'm out there mowing the grass, doing the thing. And then it's like, before you know it, you're back on the road. I feel like those intermittent breaks like that keep it healthy. But yeah, COVID was crazy, where we didn't see each other for the longest time. And it was like, start going a little stir crazy. Are we still a band? Are we still doing this? And then we got back together, and the first time we got back together, we wrote, I should probably go to bed. So maybe that little break there was healthy.
It was healthy.
But we're enjoying the momentum right now. It's great.
Dan and Shay are here. They have a new song that it's been on the record, but it's the new single. And Scuba's like, their new song, You. And I'm like, I already know that song. It ain't that. He's like, well, it's new because it's now their single. And I was like, oh, okay. And so we're going to call it new because a lot of our audience probably hasn't heard it yet.
Yeah.
Probably because they don't invest in Dan and Shay like I do and listen to every song on the album.
You're in, dude.
Every
You're the
night
guy,
before I go to
man.
bed. Yeah.
Before the album comes out.
So this song, You, Dan, you wrote it with a couple people that I really like, who's Dave Barnes, love him, and Jordan Reynolds, you've worked with a lot in the past.
Yep.
So when you go into a room and you're writing this song, You, like who spits out, because You itself as a word, not that new.
There's a lot of songs called You.
Yeah,
out there.
right.
Yeah,
So
it's tough
tell
to cut
me,
through on the
tell me about,
search engine.
kind of how this song started.
I think the original hook was You and Only You, which I think is cool. Like, something to write down on the phone is like, yeah, what about that title? And we threw that out, and it was like, we didn't reinvent the wheel. Dan and Shay, we do love songs. That's kind of what we do, you know. And we've been fortunate enough to have a bunch of songs that have become people's wedding songs, speechless from the ground up, that kind of thing. And that's just what works for us. That's kind of our lane. That's what we do. And that hook, "You and Only You," is, you know, how it started. And it was like, that's cool. And that became like you know, the post chorus, you know, right after the chorus. And it was a big part of the song. And it was like, we want to make this song about a moment. And the whole song, I feel like, is just that moment. You're standing there with somebody, you're dancing. It's just the two of you. And I feel like it's kind of the follow up to Speechless, whereas Speechless was like, that's the wedding moment. That's like the guy seeing his bride for the first time, walk down the aisle, and he's, you know, speechless. And this is kind of the moment after that. And I feel like this song kind of really works for us after both celebrating our 5-year wedding anniversaries. It's not just about the wedding. It's not just about that day. It's a huge day, but it's about every day after that. It's about the long term. And I feel like this song has kind of been that for us, and we're seeing that on social media. That's kind of why we decided to make this a single. You know, we put this song out, and it's been fan favorite since day one. And we decided to listen to our fans for once, you know. And here we are.
For once.
You know?
All you guys do is listen to your fans. That's why they love you so much.
We have to. You know?
They love you guys. Well, my favorite two guys are here. And so Dan and Shay's also with Eddie and Lunchbox.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
I
really
was
good.
wondering what you were
And we're
saying.
here as well.
Yeah, you guys are also here, which is pretty cool. So, you know, I just love so many of your songs, but I think there are songs when they go, "Oh, Dan and Shay, I love Tequila," or but I was thinking about if someone said, "What are your favorite Dan and Shay songs?" You know, From the Ground Up was like the first time that I felt like you guys weren't just going to be a success, but you guys were going to be a monster that people had to look out for. I don't know if you guys felt like that. Did you feel like that song was your first massive momentum song instead of just like a big song?
I feel like that one was very special, and it was also very, you know, close to our hearts. It was a very personal song, and I think just watching the reaction when we first kind of started playing that song, it was like, okay, I think there's some real substance to this song, and it was the first one that I feel like we really started kind of seeing people, you know, drawn to. Not that, you know, people didn't like songs like Nothing Like You or 19 EMA. They love those songs, but From the Ground Up was definitely a moment, and it was like, okay, I think that we're here to stay for a little while.
Yeah, I feel like it was a
yeah.
tear changer for you guys.
Yeah.
Because with the first album, you really can only achieve so much for people like, let's see if they can do it again.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then you guys did it again, and I don't know. I'm just trying to remember. Was there like a video in a church or a video in like an old building when you guys were releasing this song? And it was like we're listening to the acoustic. I don't know, but I just remember. And maybe I made it up in my
No,
head.
I think it was when we were recording it at Ocean Way. We did that. We cut strings there, and it
Yeah.
was a whole deal.
Maybe that's what it was.
John Esposito, the head of our record label, Warner Music Nashville, he did a whole thing. He flew everybody in. Everybody at the label felt like this song was so special, even though the demo is like the worst demo ever. It's so bad. But I don't know. People saw through it. I think it was just the words, the feeling of the song, and he flew everybody in. And you guys know Espo. He gave the whole speech and set it up, and it was amazing. And everybody was inspired, and we all knew it was a special song, and you guys played the heck out of it. So
Do you guys still like to be told, "Hey, wow, you're really good"? Because you are, and obviously you know that, or you wouldn't be to this stage, and you have so much success. But if we're like, "Wow, that was really good," do you like duh, or you
That's
like
an
thank you?
absolute human, you know, feeling. Just to
take it for
be
granted.
never take it for granted, because I feel like there's, you know, you do, especially the more you get into it, you know, the less and less we get to do things like this acoustic. Which like when we first started, that was really what got people like, oh, these guys are like, they can sit down and do this with an acoustic guitar, and anyone can not anyone can go into the studio and sound amazing, but I mean, there's a lot of people, if the song is amazing, you know, it doesn't mean that you're very good live. And so we always really prided ourselves on, you know, trying to put together a good live show. And especially when it's like this, like to have someone say, "You guys sound really good," that means a lot to us, because there's nothing covering us up right now.
You're so good that it's intimidating to tell you that you're good, because it almost feels like we're insulting you by going, "Hey, you guys are really good." It's a weird thing because you've crossed that line of, it's just so elite that if I tell you you're good, you're like, "Yeah, duh." I don't know. It's a weird
we don't
thing.
feel that way.
Okay.
I feel like you'd be surprised. I mean, we're so grateful that we're opening for Kenny Chesney right now in stadiums, which is dream come true. We grew up going to that show for 10 years. Like, we know every single word. We're fanboying in the crowd the minute we get off stage. It's a whole thing. But when you're on that level, when you're playing in a stadium, yes, it's incredible. You know, we played in my hometown, Pittsburgh. We played at Heinz Field. Dream come true. You're playing to 65,000 people, which is amazing. Hearing them sing the words back. But it's not as much of that personal connection as when you may be going out on radio tour or doing clubs or doing theaters where you can talk to every fan. You're literally right there. In a stadium, it's incredible, but it's a little bit different. You know, there's so many people. You don't have as much of that personal connection where you're not as often hearing people say, like, "That was really good. That was incredible." You're feeling it on a massive scale, but it's not that personal thing. So when we can come in here, you guys see so many people come through here. When you guys say that or when you compliment us, It means a lot. It really does.
Well, we clap for everybody, regardless of how good they are. Because it's a show, we want to be nice.
Is there
But
anybody you haven't clapped for? Like, what's the vibe? We'll talk about it off the air.
well,
We're
the
on
honest answer to that is you can basically tell by what I say after a performance. Sometimes I'm like, well, how about that? Or,
How about that?
or, man, that's great because I know it's hard to get up early in the morning and come in here and perform. That's me trying to give like a padding because sometimes it is.
good at what you do.
Sometimes people, so there are different responses. But the only other person I felt kind of dumb at going, wow, that was really good was Carrie because we were doing a thing together at the Opry and she came out and she crushed it. And I was like, dang, that was so good. And then I'm like, she's so good that maybe it's insulting for someone to act like it was so good they were surprised and going, what? So anyway, that's my question. You're so good that I feel bad about telling you you're good.
That's very kind. Right? Even Carrie, anyone who does anything professionally, having someone that you care about their opinion, or even a random person, having them say like, "Hey, man, that was really, really good." I think till the day that you die, I think that still feels good. It's just a human thing because I think the more successful you become, the less you hear it. And I think, I mean, you look at these very successful people start to get kind of insecure and, they have all these kind of problems. That happens because it's like probably because people stop telling them that they were good. There's a point where you think that your crap don't stink at some point. But I feel like still as far along in your career as you are, hearing that still is like, thank you. I needed to hear that.
That's a real thing. I bet, listen, what do I know? But I bet Garth, people don't tell him, hey, man, that was really good. Because he's a legend and and everybody knows and he's always been really good. But a guy like Garth probably needs to be told, hey, man, that was really good.
Yeah. Maybe we should get Garth.
We should call him.
Yeah.
Listen, Garth, I just want to say back in 19, once your show in 07, you did amazing. And I've been holding that for all this time.
I want to go back again. I want to go back to the first record. Nothing like using the first record, right?
Yeah.
Short hair Dan. See if I remember this right. Short hair Dan standing up in slightly ahead of a sitting down Shay. Is that right? On the front record?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. That's kind of how it usually goes, right?
Yeah. I had brown boots. I'm still wearing kind of the same clothes. We got a bunch of clothes at the beginning. I've been wearing them out.
For sure.
The same
I got this
clothes?
was the first week. Yeah, this is the first week.
Dude.
I have underwear from high school, well, maybe college. I think high
pretty
school has
solid.
finally gone away. Yeah. I could be wrong on this, but 19, You and Me, I think it was a hit, but it wasn't a number one song, right? Did it hit number
Number
one?
11.
Is that? It was
Number
only
11. Didn't even get in
Wow.
the top 10.
Okay.
Keith
Crazy.
Urban's cop car kind of stiff-armed us out of there.
That
Great song.
that was your first number one, right?
Yeah.
Nothing Like You, yep.
What would you tell those two guys if I were able to sit you two with those other two? Like what would you tell them where they are there and where you are now?
I'd be like, first of all, what are you wearing? And you've been wearing that jacket for months now. It's disgusting. I don't know, man. I would just say it's so hard to be like, all right, what would I tell myself? Because I feel like the biggest thing and the biggest growth for us is like going through the trials that we went through. And I don't know that I'd tell myself anything because I made a lot of stupid mistakes, but where I'm at right now, I'm very thankful for those mistakes. Obviously, you don't want to have to go through some of those things, but I don't know what I'd tell myself. I'm so grateful for where we're at and the fact that we're still doing it, and I would just tell myself to just hold on.
You just did the genie more wishes thing, and I don't love it, but I'm gonna accept it.
Yeah.
Like if I got you 3 wishes, I would like more wishes, genie.
I'd like more wishes.
Yes, I do understand it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was looking for something a little more salacious and controversial, but okay. Shay, what about Dan? What about you, buddy?
I would say just enjoy it. Enjoy every minute of it. I mean, when we were first starting to get some hits, I remember Charles Kelly told us, he's like, because they had just had Need You Now and like just the biggest songs ever. And he was like, dude, it goes by fast. When you're in it, you don't realize you're in it. So just enjoy it. Appreciate those moments. Whether you're winning or losing at an awards show, just enjoy the fact that you got invited to be there, to be sitting in those seats, because there was one point in your life where you would have given up everything to be in those seats. And we had that kind of stretch with Tequila, Speechless, 10,000 Hours, all those songs. And we did enjoy it. That's the beautiful thing about our friendship and us being in a duo. We're able to keep each other in check and be like, this is crazy, dude. We just won a Grammy. Or like, we're performing. Oh my gosh, Beyonce's right. This is insane. But it does go by fast. And when it's happening and you're having unprecedented success or whatever, you don't realize that's happening when you're in it. And you look back on it and it's like, wow, that's insane what we did. And you get to feel that. COVID was tough because you didn't get to feel it in real time, but you get to feel that when you go out on the road and hear people sing the words back to you. That's a tangible proof that those songs connected with people. But when it's happening, I feel like it passes you by pretty quickly because we're all competitive. We wouldn't be where we are if we weren't. And you're looking towards the next thing. You're hustling, you're grinding, your head down, you're staying focused, which you should. But I think that causes you to miss some of the good moments. And I would say, all things considered, if I could guarantee that we would end up where we are today, I'd say just, enjoy every bit of it, look around, take it all in. And it goes by fast. So got to appreciate it.
There they are, Dan and Shay. The new song for radio, their new single is You. We played it earlier. We'll play it again later on. The album is called Good Things. It's been almost a year since that record came out, so I'm not even gonna. I'm just assuming you guys are working on stuff. You can just nod or something. Yeah,
We've got a lot of
all
stuff.
right, good. All right,
We're
good.
right, yeah,
Good.
we're
All
ready
right,
to go.
all right,
How
all
about
right.
that?
And I will say this. I will say thank you to you two because thank you to your loyalty to this format because you've had such unprecedented success that you guys easily could have been offered. You could have easily said, you know what, we can actually go and just stay in the pop world and make more money, but you didn't. Like, you're loyal to country music, and I don't think you get the credit for kind of digging in and going, this is who we are and what we're doing. And songs may cross over because they're so successful. You can't really help that. But you guys chose to stay in this because you were dragged out. People were like, come on, move over here, go more, but you didn't. And so I would just like to say thanks from the entire format to you guys because I appreciate the effort and what you guys do for country music.
Thank you for saying that. That means a lot, seriously, because that is we're loyal to this format because they've been loyal to us, and we have so many incredible fans that, I mean, we're here right now because of country music, and you know we'll always be appreciative of that, and we'll stay as long as people keep listening to our music. We'll be here and be very grateful guys. So thank you for saying that, man.
All right, there they are, Dan and Shay. Thank you guys. All right.